Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Bobby D, and I'm back again with another hot, juicy video. And as always, joined by the Swole's hair consultant in Texas, Steve Michaels Cook.
Bobby.
There's a fan of my channel, Steve. If you already know, Steve has his own channel at Defeating Hair Loss. There's great content all the time, basically every day. There's some hair stuff, so be sure to check that out and see Steve. And when Steve's here, we always talk about hair for my channel. And I think I've told people about this story before in other videos, but I did get an FUT procedure about almost 5 years ago now, almost. And time flies, Steve.
Yeah.
And at that time, I started losing my hair gradually over time, from 25 to about 28.
It's looking good. Just
receding here, and I didn't feel like myself. Steve wasn't confident, and I was afraid of the worst. And I found you on YouTube and called you up, and I wasn't sure what kind of procedure I wanted to do. I heard about the FUT and the FUE. And you kind of lean towards the FUT just because at the time I wasn't sure if I was going to take, the finasteride long term, and heard the FUT was better just in case if I were to stop at some point. And also the hair was, I think you said would be thicker or
better quality.
Yeah. So thank you, Steve, and all that. So that's what I decided to do, and I ended up getting another procedure, the same one 2 years after that, and I haven't looked back since. So I just kind of wanted your thoughts on why,
Yeah,
5
years. That's nuts, crazy. Well, you look fantastic.
Thank you, Steve.
You look fantastic.
I'm trying to be like you one day.
I'm
Steve Michaels.
I'm Steve Michaels. I'm excited for you and your channel. It's killing it. Congratulations. So Bobby, going back 5 years, we talked about it, and keep in mind that not that I'm trying to sell myself here, but we don't rush anybody into anything. We take our time. We look at the pros and cons. There's no this is a very emotional button, a very emotional trigger, I like to say, for a lot of people, including me when I was really, really young. And Bobby is a little bit on the emotional side as well. Not a lot, but a little bit.
It's okay.
And but now at this point in my life, what I'm able to do when I talk to you, I talk to anyone out there, is kind of slow down the process and let's figure this out. Let's talk about this. So it's just objective information. It always turns out to be an FUE versus FUT conversation, but it's okay. I don't mind saying it over and over and over. The better quality hair in most of our heads is in the center core, right over the occipital bone in the back. And Bobby, he's a tall guy, good looking guy, big muscle guy. He wanted the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And he saves his money, which I respect, and these things aren't cheap. He goes, I want the best. Well, if you want the best hair, there's no question it's in the very center core. Now, the argument's going to be, well, I'm a Spanish guy, and my hair's great everywhere. I'm a Middle Eastern guy. I mean, not everybody is that type of race or part of the world. So for the majority of the men, the male population, the best hair is in the center core. So we talked about that. Then we also talk about the fact that you don't disturb the hair on top of the donor area, meaning the scar area, the suture line, and below it. So everything's still intact. So what you're really kind of doing with FUT, if you think about it, forget about the scar for a second, but if you think about it, is you're really kind of borrowing hair from the back of your head, and you don't have to pay it back. Like, you don't see any difference back there. There's no way that you see anything on top of the suture line or below it where we took the tissue from, and that's all intact. So you kind of got free hair, so to say. And I'm not going to get into the scarring, but it's minimal. Obviously, he just got his head shaved, and he looks great. That results are going to vary with that. And I understand that's a concern for a lot of patients out there and why they choose FUE. But remember that the main reason, besides the quality of hair in the center core for Bobby, was he was uncertain about if he was going to stay on the finasteride. Yeah. If you're in your, let's just call it, let's say up to 32, 33. To me, it's 35, I don't know. If you're that young and you have some hair loss and you're considering, a decent sized procedure to fix your hairline or whatnot, you want to be very careful with your future. So now that he's had actually 2 procedures, and they're both in that center core, nothing on top of that suture line has been disturbed and nothing below. He's got plenty of hair to go back in there. If something happens, what could happen? Well, what happens if he gets married and his wife says, I want you off the finasteride? You start getting a little bald spot back there. All these different things. I mean, it's probably not, and he's safe and he's protected. And I feel real good about not only his result, but what decision he made. But to just immediately go to what the most of the industry tries to do, which is sell you the sexy procedure. They try to sell you the procedure that's easy to sell. Because in my opinion, And I'm not knocking anybody. A lot of people are lazy out there. They don't want to go through all the pros and cons. They want to grab the business. So I don't do that. And when Bobby and I met, I made sure I was very clear to him that he, yes, is a candidate for both procedures, and that here's, the pros and cons of each and what decisions he should make. And credit to him, he's a pretty bright young man. He made the decision that he was going to go with FUT, and it's been a huge success. So I'm glad that we were able to share that on your channel, because I think about it all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Steve. You basically saved my hair. And I am on the finasteride right now, so I won't have to get another transplant. So knock on wood. But
no more surgery for
yeah,
Bob.
no more surgeries. And as always, be sure to check out Steve's channel, Defeating Hair Loss, and also me and Steve both use Nizoral twice a week just to help fight hair loss, and the link will be in the description box below. And also be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.